Any truth to the reports that at some point you were interested in becoming a part of the Miami Dolphins in any situation, in any circumstance?
Just in from the NFL, and this is a bombshell. The NFL is docking the Miami Dolphins' first-round draft pick next season and a third-round selection in 2024 for tampering in their pursuit of Tom Brady.
Yesterday, we finally got a verdict on the Deshaun Watson situation. It's been about a year and a half as we were waiting for a verdict on this situation. And it seems like today, the NFL was going after another team that they really wanted to punish, a team that was in some controversy a few months ago, primarily at the hands of the Brian Flores lawsuit. And although they didn't end up punishing the Miami Dolphins for some of the Brian Flores lawsuit, there's been one conspiracy I had in regards to Tom Brady potentially going to the Miami Dolphins that ended up holding true. So before we get to the content, make sure you drop, like, subscribe, and turn on our notifications to help the channel grow. If you want shorter versions of this content, make sure you follow me on Instagram at The Flight Mike and TikTok, Microphone NFL. And now that we got all of that out of the way, work! This video is brought to you by Shaker and Spoon. Shaker and Spoon is a monthly cocktail subscription box that delivers the craft cocktail experience right to your door. Each monthly box arrives with 3 original recipes created by world-class bartenders that you can't get anywhere else, as well as enough ingredients like syrups, bitters, and aromatics for 12 cocktails, 4 from each recipe. Each box is themed around one type of liquor that will fit all 3 recipes for that month. Even better, in order to make all 12 cocktails, you need exactly 1 bottle of liquor, so no waste at all. With Shaker and Spoon, you no longer need to seek out hard to find cocktail ingredients or buy full bottles of things that you'll only end up using once. This is a super convenient alternative. And most importantly, Shaker and Spoon introduces you to new ingredients and brand new drinks that you probably wouldn't be able to make yourself. And it's a great way to start learning how to mix your own drinks. As you can see on your screen, I am clearly a beginner at this, but once I finished making my first drink and tasted it, it was by far one of the most delicious tasting cocktails I've ever had. That's incredible. It's actually really good. It's really, really good. And right now, if you click on my link in the description down below, shakerandspoon.com/microphone, or just use my promo code microphone, you'll get $20 off of your first box. That's promo code microphone or shakerandspoon.com/microphone to get $20 off of your first box. And thank you, Shaker and Spoon, for the sponsorship. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? If you remember, during the beginning of June, once OTAs were set to start, Tom Brady was asked point blank about the reports about whether he was interested in joining the Miami Dolphins in some capacity as a minority owner, as an executive, or as a player before returning to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, this is something that just made way too much sense, and conspiracy theorists just ran wild with this because, one, let's be honest, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers did a remarkable job in the short period of time that Tom Brady was their quarterback. They completely changed their culture really quickly, but you have to admit, this upcoming year isn't necessarily as exciting as last year was, or even as the year before was. I mean, you had Rob Gronkowski retire, Antonio Brown's no longer a part of the team, and it seems like their entire offensive line is decimated, although it seems like the latest 2 players, Tristan Wirfs and Ryan Jensen, occurred in the past week. Ali Marpet retired over the offseason, so it would make sense that Tom Brady would want to move on. It would make sense that he would want to spend his final year in the NFL, because bear in mind, in the past, Tom Brady has said over and over again that he is interested in potentially being a part owner of a franchise. And when Tom Brady was asked about it, well, this is what he had to say.
Again, I had a lot of conversations with a lot of people, as I've had for the last 3 or 4 years in my career, about, different opportunities when I'm done playing with football. So, I kind of made a decision of what I'd like to do, and I'll get to be in the game of football. And I think for me, the most important thing is where I'm at now, and what I hope to do for this team. That's been my commitment to this team and organization. It's been so much fun for me to come here 2 years ago. It's been almost 2.5 years now, and it's been an incredible part of my football journey. And it's not over, and we still got a lot to accomplish. So I got a long life ahead, and there's a lot of fun things to do ahead. I'm looking forward to what's ahead in football, but at the same time, none of us are promised much beyond what we have now, and this is the current moment, and I'm really excited about going out there to try to compete and win a championship.
Tom Brady didn't come out and tell us that he was interested in joining the Miami Dolphins. At the same time, he didn't deny anything either. Right before that, there were rumors running rampant how Sean Payton stepped down from the New Orleans Saints and how Tom Brady retired for a reason. They both wanted to team up on the Miami Dolphins and form a super team. Now, this isn't the first time that the Miami Dolphins pursued Tom Brady. As a matter of fact, in the lawsuit that was made by Brian Flores, he alleges the same thing. Brian Flores really wanted to build a culture of his own with the Miami Dolphins. He was more focused on the team trying to win each and every game and carve out an identity for themselves than tanking games on purpose just so they could potentially have a higher draft pick, which is something that I personally commend him for. I know in hindsight, if they would have tanked for the #1 overall pick and selected Joe Burrow, maybe the team would have been better off, but for the most part, they were making great decisions throughout the Brian Flores era, and I definitely think that this team was on their way somewhere. They didn't necessarily make a playoff berth, but their record was improving tremendously each and every year. You can make a strong argument that Brian Flores was the best head coach that the Miami Dolphins had in over a decade. Now, in the lawsuit, he mentions how following the 2019 season, the suit alleges that Flores was pressured into breaking league rules by meeting ownership Stephen Ross and an unnamed quarterback in violation of league tampering rules. The suit claims that Flores did not attend this planned meeting, but was later misled about another meeting with Ross that turned into an attempt to convince a prominent quarterback to come to Miami. So, who was officially a free agent towards the end of the 2019 season that already had ties to Brian Flores with the New England Patriots? I wonder who that might be. Now, the direct quote from the suit is after the end of the 2019 season, Mr. Ross began to pressure Mr. Flores to recruit a prominent quarterback in violation of league tampering rules. Mr. Flores repeatedly refused to comply with these improper directives. Undeterred, in the winter of 2020, Mr. Ross invited Mr. Flores onto a yacht for lunch. Shortly after he arrived, Mr. Ross told Mr. Flores that the prominent quarterback was conveniently arriving at the marina. So at the time, we thought that this could be either Deshaun Watson or Tom Brady. As time went on, we were getting more hints that it was Tom Brady. And until today, we actually found out that it was Tom Brady. So pay attention to the language of this because some people might raise an eyebrow at this. So according to Adam Schefter, the NFL stripped the Miami Dolphins of their 2023 first round pick and their 2024 third round pick for violating the integrity of the game. Dolphins owner Stephen Ross also suspended through October 17th and fined $1.5 million. Who was the last person that got suspended for the violation of the integrity of the game? Could it have been Calvin Ridley? And how long was Calvin Ridley suspended for? For betting on a game that he had no involvement in, although it was his own team, and betting a measly $1,500 because he claimed that he was getting so uninterested in football that he wanted anything to suck his interest back in. So here's the official notice from the NFL and what they say in regards to the situation. The NFL announces findings and discipline following independent investigation of integrity of the game policy violations by NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell today notified the Miami Dolphins of the discipline imposed for violations of NFL policies relating to the integrity of the game. Today's announcement follows a 6-month investigation covering the events from 2019 to 2022 that was led by former U.S. Attorney and SEC Chair Mary Jo White and a team of lawyers from the Debevoise law firm. The commissioner expressed his deep appreciation to Ms. White and her colleagues for their comprehensive and objective review of these matters. The investigation focused on 2 subjects. 1, whether the Dolphins violated league rules prohibiting tampering with a player and a coach under contract to other clubs. And 2, whether during the 2019 season, the Dolphins intentionally lost games to improve the club's draft position in the 2020 NFL Draft, and whether the Dolphins chairman and managing general partner, Mr. Stephen Ross, offered head coach Brian Flores financial incentives or otherwise encouraged him to lose games. The commissioner thanked the Dolphins for the cooperation provided by the club and its leadership. So before we get to this, man, it's really important to know, Stephen Ross denied everything that he's about to get charged with. So check this out. The first part is tampering. The investigation conclusively established violations of the anti-tampering policy on 3 separate occasions. 1, Miami Dolphins Dolphins had impermissible communications with quarterback Tom Brady in 2019 to 2020, while he was under contract to the New England Patriots. Those communications began as early as August 2019 and continued throughout the 2019 season and postseason. These numerous and detailed discussions were conducted by Mr. Beal, who in turn kept Mr. Ross and other Dolphins executives informed of his discussions with Tom Brady. But wait, there's more. It's not just Tom Brady in this, although that is already a huge story in of itself. The Miami Dolphins again had impermissible communications while both Mr. Brady and his agent during and after the 2021 season, while he was under contract to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Those discussions began no later than early December 2021 and focused on Mr. Brady becoming a limited partner in the Dolphins and possibly serving as a football executive, although at times they also included the possibility of his playing for the Dolphins. Mr. Ross and Beal were active participants in these discussions, so it seems like things are becoming more recent. There were 2 attempts to get Tom Brady on the Miami Dolphins. Man, I feel so bad for Tua at this point. And bear in mind, this was just a month or 2 after they struck out on Deshaun Watson. They probably looked at Deshaun Watson and viewed him as too much of a risk because at the time, there was still a decent amount of charges being brought forth against him. So in January 2022, they went after another player other than Tom Brady. It seemed like they wanted to move on from Brian Flores, and they had their eyes set on another established head coach. A head coach that we actually reported on in the channel a couple of months ago, and even admitted that it may be slightly conspiracy theorist of us. In January of 2022, the Dolphins had impermissible communications with Don Yee, the agent for the New Orleans Saints head coach, Sean Payton, about having Mr. Payton serve as Miami's head coach. Miami did not seek consent from the New Orleans Saints to have these discussions, which occurred before Coach Payton announced his decision to retire as the head coach of the New Orleans Saints. Following that announcement, Miami requested permission to speak to Coach Payton for the first time, which the New Orleans Saints declined to grant. The investigators found tampering violations of unprecedented scope and severity. Commissioner Goodell said, "I know of no prior instance of a team violating the prohibition on tampering with both a head coach and a star player to the potential detriment of multiple other clubs over a period of several years. Similarly, I know of no prior instance in which ownership was so directly involved in the violation." So they also touch on whether or not the Dolphins tried to tank intentionally to improve their draft position, because that's something else that Brian Flores accused them on. And it said that the investigation conclusively established the following. 1, the Dolphins did not intentionally lose games during the 2019 season, nor did anyone at the club, including Mr. Ross, instruct Coach Flores to do so. No witness contended otherwise. The Dolphins competed hard to win every game, including at the end of the season when they beat Cincinnati and New England, despite worsening Miami's position in the 2020 draft. On a number of occasions during the 2019 season, Mr. Ross expressed his belief that the Dolphins' position in the upcoming 2020 draft would take priority over the team's win-loss record. These comments were made most frequently to team president and CEO Tom Garfinkel, but were also made to general manager Chris Greer, senior vice president Brandon Shore, and coach Flores. These comments, which he took to be suggestions that he lose games, troubled Coach Flores and led him to express his concern in writing to senior club executives, each of whom assured Coach Flores that everyone, including Mr. Ross, supported him in building a winning culture in Miami. After this, Mr. Ross no longer made any such comments to Coach Flores. One such comment is a claimed offer by Mr. Ross to pay Coach Flores $100,000 to lose games, as to which there are differing recollections about the wording, timing, and context. However phrased, such a comment was not intended or taken to be a serious offer, nor was the subject pursued in any respect by Mr. Ross or anyone at the club. Every club is expected to make a good faith effort to win every game. The integrity of the game and public confidence in professional football demand no less. An owner or senior executive must understand the weight that his or her words carry and the risk that a comment will be taken seriously and acted upon. Even if that is not the intent or expectation, even if made in jest and not intended to be taken seriously, comments suggesting that draft position is more important than winning can be misunderstood and carry with them an unnecessary potential risk to the integrity of the game. The comments made by Mr. Ross did not affect Coach Flores' commitment to win, and the Dolphins competed to win every game. Coach Flores is to be commended for not allowing any comment about the relative importance of draft position to affect his commitment to win throughout the season. Based upon the findings and conclusions, the following discipline will be imposed. The Miami Dolphins will forfeit the club's first-round selection in the 2023 NFL Draft and the third-round selection in the 2024 NFL Draft. Their owner, Mr. Ross, will be suspended through October 17th, 2022. During this period, he may not be present at the Dolphins facility and may not represent the club at any team or NFL event. He may not attend any league meeting prior to the annual meeting in 2023, is removed from all league committees indefinitely, and fined $1.5 million. Mr. Bruce Beal, the Dolphins vice chairman and limited partner, may not attend any league meeting for the remainder of the 2022 season and is fined $500,000. This discipline is informed by the competition committee's clear guidance that more stringent discipline, including suspensions, should be imposed for tampering violations to deter future violations and to safeguard the integrity of the game. The buzzword in this is to safeguard the integrity of the game, which automatically makes me draw comparisons to Calvin Ridley's situation. So, that's the only buzzword, to safeguard the integrity of the game. So pretty much whenever an owner of a team does something similar to what Calvin Ridley does, this is the punishment levied against him. Mr. Ross is suspended for 2.5 months. He loses a first-round pick and a third-round pick. This also validates that the crazy conspiracy theories we were having on this channel were right all along, which I kind of felt funny bringing up because I don't want to sound like a mad scientist in this video and I just like giving you facts. But now we can actually say they were 100% true. So let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about all this in the grand scheme of things. Do you think this is a strict enough punishment? Or do you think the NFL should have been more harsh on the Miami Dolphins? Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.